everyone, and welcome. This is the session for International Education Week, and it's called Facilitating Student Mobility Through Sustainable Funding Models, Scholarship Opportunities for American Students Studying in China. I'm Kathy Copeland. I'm the director of the American Democracy Project at the American Association of State Colleges and Universities. And AASCU, the American Association of State Colleges and Universities, is delighted to host this particular session today. It's particularly relevant today as President Joe Biden and President Xi Jinping share a summit in San Francisco. They're going to work on improving our two nations' relationships and corresponding more strategically. And that really fits in nicely with how our session's goals and our session's outcomes here. As a result of this summit, though, the Chinese embassy has been extraordinarily busy, as you can imagine. They were unable to send a representative for this particular session, but they have assured us, and we certainly recognize that they are wonderful strategic partners in this work together that we bring there. I can confirm that the Chinese embassy continues to have a strong relationship with AASCU. I was lucky enough to be able to visit the Chinese embassy last month as part of an AASCU delegation of faculty and staff who were exploring opportunities that the U.S. has with expanding our connections there to the U.S. In addition, China and the Chinese embassy support AASCU and our members to promote international study abroad in many other avenues, and today you'll hear about some of those. Part of my work is embedding civic learning throughout college experience, and study abroad experiences particularly are valuable to allow students to understand the world and other cultures more deeply, and to promote a sense of collective interest in finding connections worldwide. So that brings me to our session today. We're going to share some perspectives and resources so that you can navigate international study abroad scholarship opportunities more strategically. This program is part of AASCU's International Education Week, and we'll put a link into the chat so that you can explore the other options that we have this week for you to expand your horizons. Our first speaker, though, is Dr. Terry Brown. She is the Vice President for Academic Innovation and Transformation at AASCU, and she's going to be sharing a bit about the opportunities and challenges within the Chinese study abroad experiences. Terry?
Thank you very much, Kathy, and thank you all for joining us for this conversation about student exchange, academic exchange with our partners in China. I had the privilege and honor of leading a delegation of AASCU leaders to China with Sufei Li, who is our Assistant Director for Asia and China Programs. We returned about 2 weeks ago and can report that Beijing and China in autumn is one of the most beautiful places you can be. It's a beautiful time of year to be there. We had about 15 members in our delegation, including President Daniel Wuba, who is president of Millersville University and is our chair of the Committee on International Education, and President Robin Wacker, who is the president at St. Cloud State University, as well as others from other states, Massachusetts. Let's see, we had Massachusetts, Georgia, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and other states represented in this group. We were there to attend the China Annual Conference and Expo for International Exchange. This is a very large conference of international educators that convenes annually. And I would recommend it for those who are international educators. I would recommend that they consider attending. The expo is an opportunity for institutions to present and recruit Chinese students to attend their campuses. And I'm told that there was upwards of 60 to 65,000 in attendance at this expo. It was quite something and quite impressive. We were there because AASCU's has a number of student mobility programs and academic exchanges with China, including AASCU's 1+2+1 program, which involves 40 AASCU universities and 130 Chinese universities, having reached over the last 20 years, 6,500 Chinese students coming to the US for this dual degree program. It is the largest student mobility program between China and the United States, I'm proud to say. It's a very successful program, and we're grateful to our partners in China for their support of this program over the years. The flow of academic exchange is an indicator of the health of the relationship between nations. Student mobility programs, faculty mobility programs, are not just about helping our students become globally engaged citizens. That is a key element, but in addition to that, it's also an indicator of the health of the relationship between the two nations that share students and share researchers and faculty. When we were in China, we met with higher education leaders, Chinese higher education leaders, including presidents and vice presidents from some of our 130 partner institutions. We met with Chinese partners from the Chinese Ministry of Education and other agencies responsible for education exchange. And during our visit, informal speeches and in informal conversations, our delegation carried a consistent message to our Chinese partners. We welcome Chinese students on our campuses. And we encourage our American students and faculty to visit China. I was grateful for the candid conversations that we were able to have with our Chinese partners about the impact of the current political tensions between the US and China on our efforts to build a robust academic exchange and student mobility and faculty mobility. We talked about it openly. And in spite of the challenges, we repeatedly heard from both our Chinese partners and the US officials that we met with that student mobility is vitally important to the relationship between these two world powers. And I want to quote to you from a recent article on China that was in the New Yorker just a couple of weeks ago, and I highly recommend it. It gives one American reporter's take on the current situation in China. But he quotes the US ambassador to China, Nick Burns, as saying that according to the US Embassy, the number of American students in China has plummeted from several thousand in 2019 to fewer than 400 today. And what the ambassador says is this. He says, you need ballast, and people are the ballast. Students, business people, NGOs, journalists. There's no scenario where divorcing the two countries helps us. This is Ambassador Nick Burns saying there's no scenario where divorcing the two countries helps us. And that's why President Xi and President Biden are meeting now as we speak in San Francisco, and that is a good sign. But I think that when the ambassador talks about ballast, what makes a lift in a relationship, people are the ballast. And that happens with people-to-people exchanges, which we heard a lot about from our Chinese partners. What I'm trying to convey here is that AASCU has had 20 years of a very successful partnership with China to bring Chinese students to our campuses and to bring our American students to China, and as well as faculty. And I believe that the continued health of that program is important in order to maintain a peaceful and mutually responsive and respectful relationship between our nation. It is one component of that relationship. We had very good conversations with our Chinese partners who are open to and invite the expansion of our work and our programs. We also had candid conversations with our partners at the US Embassy, who said very directly, we are very supportive of the AASCU program and the work that you're doing at AASCU. So my message is, having returned from this experience in China, I'm very hopeful about what might be possible between our nations. We did say candidly to our embassy partners that the level 3 alert that the State Department has issued for China was not, it did not encourage our students and our faculty and our leaders, for that matter, to or even higher ed administrators to visit China at this time. They have their reasons for that level 3 alert that is beyond our influence at AASCU. Nevertheless, within that context, I still believe that there are opportunities for us to continue these exchanges, and I do believe that they're vitally important to this relationship. And I invite you, those of you on the campuses who are working with students, those of you who are working with faculty and yourselves, to consider deepening and broadening your partnership with China, working with us. We have a number of programs and you'll hear about them. So thank you again for being here, and thank you, Kathy, for this opportunity to share a perspective.
Thanks so much, Terry. I really appreciated the ideas that you brought forward for how we can make sure to continue to strengthen the relationship between our two countries. And in that vein, I'll move it to Sufei Li, who is, as Terry said, the Assistant Director of China and Asian Programs at AASCU. She's going to explain more about the resources and scholarship opportunities that we have available. Sufei?
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Dr. Brown. Thank you for coming to the session, and I'm Sufei Li, the Assistant Director of China and Asian Programs. I'm very happy to share some resources that AASCU has been working in the past decades with our partners in China, and also with the support from the Chinese Embassy Education Office. Unfortunately, we all know the reason that the top leadership teams are meeting today from China and from the US. They are meeting today, so they couldn't come to attend this. It's right at this moment. So I will try to, they provide me some information, and also I've been working with them, try to find financial resources for our American students, because study abroad becomes more and more important on our campuses. And we understand that, especially for AASCU member institutions and the students, any financial support with any help or support of financial resources could change a person's life, eventually to become a global citizen. And that's also the goal of our mission as a association. So saying that, I'll try to share the screen with some information. Today's webinar is as a part of AASCU celebrating International Education Week, and today's feature is trying to find the scholarship opportunities for American students study abroad in China. And as I mentioned that Terry also shared our experiences visiting China in October. We do have good connections, and we feel the enthusiasm from our Chinese partners to welcome American students. And also, AASCU has been working with Chinese institutions to bring Chinese students on our campuses. So what I want to share with you from this on the screen are a couple of resources that we've been working through the Chinese embassy or through our partnership partners in China, where we could identify the scholarships or fundings to support American students to have long-term or short-term study abroad experiences in China. The one is the China Scholarship Council. I have this website here. They offer short-term study, short-term program. One is very new one, and is AASCU's. We've been working with them with the Chinese embassies, AASCI. It's the short-term. I'll talk about it later with the details. It's American Short-Term Study in China Initiative, and also another scholarship is it's the one academic year or one semester for general studies. It's not a degree seeking, but if you are interested in study one semester or 1 year in Chinese language or some selected courses. Also, if you're interested in, as a student, individual student, if you're interested in degree seeking programs with a scholarship in China, they also have the scholarships available with a bachelor's degree, master's degree, or PhD. The degree seeking one will require some language proficiency. You have to learn past a certain level of Chinese. Like the Americans, the students need to pass TOEFL, but for the degree seeking, you have to pass the Chinese language. The short-term studies are not languages, it's preferred, but not required. We learn many Chinese universities offer those programs in English. So if you are not, if your Chinese is not good enough, you can still qualify to apply. And then the second one is that the Center for Language Education and Cooperation, CLAC. The website also, they list some scholarship fundings for the institutions or for the partners, but this center mainly offers the scholarship for the students who want to learn Chinese. Also, they will help with the provide the teachers training or teaching Chinese. So this center is mainly focusing on the learning Chinese, while the China Scholarship Council can offer scholarships or in different varieties of degree, non-degree programs with all different majors. So those are the different differences between the two associations that we've been working with. Also, we learned this trip, and many Chinese provincial government and individual institutions, they also have fundings, because it's another it is also encouraged by the Chinese government to encourage the institutions to work with foreign partner institutions to bring more students to study abroad in China. So institutions would have, if you cannot find the proper funding from the national associations like China Scholarship Council or the center, talk with your partner institutions. They may have the funding allocated for student exchanges, for faculty exchanges, and we learned a lot of universities supported by the local provincial government, and they do also have fundings to support a program. So those are the general resources that we work with the Chinese embassy and through our Chinese partners. Okay, the next is I want to talk about AASCU has been a leading association in international education, and we in the past years we've had partners with many countries and international associations and organizations. For one country that we have long history and friendship with is the Chinese association called China Association of International Education and Exchange. We've been working with the Chinese embassy and the Chinese partner in the past, trying to establish some programs where we could find the funding through a partnership to offer our students and faculties with the opportunities to study or travel to China. On this slide, I listed the 4 major China-related programs. The first one is AASCI, it's called American Short-Term Study in China Initiative. This is a faculty-led study in China scholarship program. I will have the details to talk about it later. It is still open if you are interested in, and if you are faculty, because this is approved through the faculty. So if you are faculty, you're interested in, we could talk about it and you can still apply. The currently open is this Chinese government scholarship program with Chinese embassy. This is for individual students on AASCU campuses, and you can apply for 1 academic year or 1 semester, just 1 semester. This provides the students with scholarship when they arrived in China, including tuition, room and board, and some stipend. And the link here, if you click into the link, there are detailed descriptions there. We can talk about it if we have time later. And then those are the students, those 2, the AASCI and the Study in China program. And one particular one we have for the faculties is called China Studies Institute. This is a program for American junior faculty professional development opportunity. The faculty in any discipline, if you're interested in bring the international elements into your curriculum development, this will be the program that good for those faculty members. The details are there. It's in the link. It stopped during the COVID, but we started in 2015, and every year we bring 15 faculty members from AASCU institutions to travel to China for 2 weeks, meeting with the Chinese educational organizations, Ministry of Education, and specifically meeting with the Chinese university faculty members. The goal is to establish the connections for both institutions and on the basis of partnership building and faculty academic collaboration. And we are working on it. It's coming back for 2024, and you will hear from us once it's open for application. And besides the faculty member, we also have another program for American undergraduate students. It's called the Rising Star Study Tour Program. This is for American undergraduate students traveling to China with Chinese students. Again, we've been running this program since 2015 and stopped during the COVID. And we're working with our Chinese partner to bring back this program for 2024 or maybe 2025. Every program has its own theme, and we select about 20 to 25 American students and to pair them with Chinese students. And in China, they travel, study together for 2 weeks. And at the end of the program, they were provided with a group project to present as a result of this trip. So those are the programs that we've been running through AASCU, and some of the programs are not just for AASCU members, like AASCI, the faculty-led program. It is open to all American higher education institutions. And some of the programs is only for AASCU member institutions. But you're welcome to share with us, with your faculty, and with your colleagues. I want to use this few minutes to quickly talking about this American Short-Term Study in China initiative, which is open to all institutions in the US, not just for AASCU members. This is, as I said, this is a faculty-led study abroad program. So when you apply, a faculty member should apply for the program. And the good thing is that once this program is approved by the Chinese embassy, you are qualified, all the students in this program are qualified to the scholarships. So what are the scholarships include? It includes the tuitions at the Chinese university, and on-campus accommodations, the health insurance, and a monthly stipend to offer to the students, individual students. But this program will not include the tuition you charge to your students on your campus. And the students or the universities are responsible for the international airfare, bring the students to China. And also the China visa application fees are not included there. As I said, this is a faculty-led program. So if you are a teaching faculty, or you are an administrator who teaches 1 or 2 courses that requires your students to study abroad, or even some faculty who are thinking about, interested in developing a study abroad course for the students, you can submit your thoughts. We have the application online, and if you don't have a partner, we could even find you a matching partner, so then you're qualified to apply for this program. What kind of courses are qualified to receive the scholarship? Because this is offered by Chinese government, so this course you will need to have a Chinese partner, teaching faculty to co-design and co-teach for this subject. This needs to be a accredited course. It's not a non-credit. Students in the program will need to bring back the credits to your university. It's the courses you offered as a credit courses. And then it's a minimum of 4 weeks, and a maximum is 1 academic year. You probably need to recruit at least 6 students into the program to make it go. Of course, if you have more than 30 students, you probably have to think about dividing into 2 groups. So the minimum 6 students and a minimum 4 weeks for this program. Here's the timeline. Just want to share because although we passed the deadline, but if you're thinking about doing it and you don't have a partner yet, it's really the good time to think about who you want to work with, and we will help you to, if you, on the application, there's a place that if I don't have a partner, I need your recommendation. So you need to submit early enough for us to find a matching partner for you to get the approval. So this is we just have the deadlines finished, and usually by November, the embassy and the selection committee will review all the applicants. And by mid-December, the applicants will receive the final notification. And usually the students will go to China in the summer, in the end of May or June. So once you receive the approval, you can start to promote, work with your campus study abroad program office to promote the program and prepare the students. And usually the students will be in China during the summertime. So I think this is the AASCI. The Chinese government scholarship for individual students will follow similar pattern. It's also through this website, and I will stop here when we have time, we'll come back with, if you have questions, we'll come back with all the other details. So I'll just stop here first then.
Thanks so much, Sufei. We really appreciate it. And we'll hear from Yongling Gork now. She's the Assistant Director for International Education at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. And she's going to be sharing with us some best practices for Chinese scholarship use.
Kathy, thank you for the introduction, and it's nice to be here with everyone. My role at UNC Charlotte is indeed kind of dual, because I am an international education administrator, but also I have a dual faculty appointment that my teaching load is 1 course per semester. And since 2015, I've been doing a variety kind of faculty-led programs to China. So I'm happy and really excited to share some of my, I would say, lessons learned, because there are successes, there are also challenges as well with you all. I have a short 3-slide information and many of the points that I have are specifically related to the AASCI, the short-term faculty-led initiatives, as we're really trying to rebuild the momentum to hopefully, going back to the 1 million strong days where we see a growing number of American students studying in China, whether they're studying languages or whether they're studying in their own academic discipline. But whatever it is, as Sufei has said, that universities in China, especially in the ones that are in more developed cities, you will not be surprised to see them offering short-term and even academic courses in English language. So if you're a faculty member and worried about your students' Chinese proficiency level, look carefully. You will find institutions that can accommodate your the needs that you have. So I'm also going to share my screen, and some of that you will feel it's very detailed. So please feel free to ask for clarification down the road. But first and foremost is it's a very lengthy process for preparing and also implementing a faculty-led program. And with this specific initiative implemented by AASCU, I think it's very important to let students know at the beginning of their application stage that they will very likely, if not, must fill out 2 applications in order to complete their whole documents and paperwork. That is, in addition to applying to the university's own study abroad internal system, the students, they need to apply for directly on CSC, the Chinese Scholarship Council's website. So communicate with the students, let them know at the early stages. It will be very helpful clearing some of the roadblocks, because the website takes some time to navigate, not only for students, but also for leading faculty as well, if they have not worked on this website before. And then I would highly recommend working with AASCU, because Sufei is very experienced on helping students and faculty navigating this website. And when there are questions, we have our resource at the Chinese Embassy that they can provide us with further discussion. And then the second point is in terms of some of the application documents. And like I said, if you're not at this stage, a lot of that, like, devils are in the weeds, but there will be some type of documents that may not be something that students just have readily available. And therefore, as the leading faculty, with the assistance of the university's Office of Education Abroad, it is definitely recommended and also doable to assist students in securing these documents. So when the time comes to complete their second application on CSC's website, that is after they complete the university's internal ones, it will be very much helpful and a smooth process for students. Also importantly, to organize a pre-departure orientation. I think it's almost unanimous that every university's Office of Education Abroad offers some kind of generic pre-departure health and safety orientation for all students who are going to study abroad, whether they're going with the faculty or whether they're going on their own. So this pre-departure orientation is not the same as attending the university's one, but rather have the leading faculty organize a pre-departure orientation for the students. Now, I also recommend, where possible, to have the Chinese partner join the pre-departure orientation, so that some of the questions may be able to answer there. Now, keep in mind, we are often 12 hours or 13 hours behind China, so plan carefully for such pre-departure orientations. Evening time in the US will be most ideal, just as long as you avoid the afternoon time in the US, because that will be very difficult for our Chinese partners. And some of the other things are more for kind of on the program travel, because this program can be as short as 4 weeks and as long as a whole academic year. Now, most of the faculty-led programs are short-term. It is so that faculty can be with the students throughout the entire duration of the stay. But every university and every faculty may take different approaches. Sometimes a team of 2 faculty may be accompanying students, and one faculty may be at the beginning of the program, another faculty may join later. But whatever the faculty arrangement is, it is always very important to keep the university posted of yours, meaning the faculty's emergency plan and contact. So in addition to your own institution, I also highly recommend the faculty member register everybody, faculty and students, through the U.S. Department of State's STEP, which stands for Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, and it's a free program. So anyone who is a U.S. citizen can enroll, and then for the good thing about this program is, should there be any kind of emergency, whether it's natural disaster or social change, then the U.S. embassies in the host country, in this case China, and or consulate can be alerted, and they will know in that consular area where are the students are, and if they need to get code of students and help students, that they know how to hold. So that is kind of some very useful lessons or lessons that learned from the past as far as kind of the detailed implementation are concerned. But since this is a collaborative program, I also want to emphasize that for you as a faculty, if you or as administrators, the benefits of implementing such program is not only for the students, for faculty, but also for university to deepen its academic partnership with the Chinese higher education institutions, especially given that one of the requirement is the courses will be co-taught by faculty from the US institution and from the Chinese institution. So, and this could potentially lead to more academic collaboration, whether it's at longer term exchange or whether it's research. So remember that this is this program has several layers of benefits in addition to helping students, but also helping faculty and the institution as well. Another kind of, again, looking ahead, when students and faculty are in China, there are also things to keep in mind, to ensure the, first of all, safety, and secondly, success of your program. I mentioned about the pre-departure orientation. If you are able to get your Chinese partner on board, that will be great. But if not, at least organize an on-site orientation with the partner institution as soon as the students get there. That will be something very helpful to do. And as far as the U.S. consulate and or embassy in China is concerned, every consulate or the U.S. embassy, they have the info session which you can communicate with their public officer to arrange. They provide this to your students for free, and it's actually considered part of their job to help Americans get them familiarized with China when they arrive. So this is another good practice to have, and I would highly recommend complete such an info session at the first week of your program. Sometimes it really depends on if you're going to a city where there's a consulate, or if you're going to a city which doesn't have a consulate but it's nearby. Where cities like Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou, where there are embassy or consulates, students can often arrange a visit to see the U.S. embassy. And for them, it's a good point, reminding them that they are not only individual students themselves, but they're also Americans sharing their lived experience with the Chinese students and or everyday people. But sometimes we may have partners, let's say, that are in Hangzhou, Suzhou, very close to Shanghai, but not necessarily in a city where you have and then you can arrange whether to have the U.S. consulate people coming to your campus, or maybe arrange a day trip to visit. So those are things to keep in mind. And then, so while students are in China, there are many things to look for, and then also to help students get them situated as soon as possible. If I can share just one thing, is to obtain a Chinese cell phone almost as soon as students arrive in China. Now, this involves more efforts on the partner side, and I'm confident that a good partner institution will have dedicated resource and or personnel helping that. So as U.S. faculty, as long as you communicate clearly what requirement you have to your Chinese partner, this will be something that they can help, and you don't have to physically do them yourself. And finally, since this is a I would say tripartite partnership with your institution, with the Chinese embassy, and with AASCU, it is important to submit timely report, sharing your successes, communicate your challenges, and reflect on lessons learned so that this program can be improved continually, and to hopefully recruit more institutions and more students. So these are some of the lessons learned from my almost a decade of running a faculty-led program. And once again, I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I think going to China is, I mean, it's often when I meet students, it's on their kind of bucket list place to visit, but there are so many barriers to overcome before they can realize one of their dreams or ambitions. Now, while we as faculty leaders cannot remove all the barriers for them, and it is also students' own responsibility to take some initiative and work on this process themselves, I think the generous financial assistance provided through the through offsetting the in-China costs, tuition, accommodation, and insurance does offer a great incentive for students to consider studying in China for as a period between 4 weeks and an academic year. So hopefully more people will join us and then continue to rebuild a more balanced US-China exchange as far as higher education is concerned. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That was inspiring, and I feel much more organized right now. So thank you so much for setting out those clear steps. I'll go ahead and invite questions at this point. We can clarify any of the parts that you may have questions on, or we can just bring in more resources through our webpage. We put a couple links in as well. So I'll just invite questions right now.
I have a comment about what Yongling mentioned about it, and I really appreciate that she shared the lessons learned for this AASCI program. Actually, her campus submitted the program, the proposal, and they received 3 awards last year. So it's amazing, and I think Yongling is really a great coordinator, trying to coordinating with different disciplines and the 3 faculties. I think she mentioned about all those good things, and we hope that those lessons will be heard by all more faculties. And I think that the good thing of Yongling mentioned, those students who are in that AASCI program, after like 4 weeks or 6 weeks in China, a lot of them could come back to, because we have other scholarship opportunities. A lot of them in the past, what we learned is after 4 weeks in China, they start to feel more comfortable and start to love the study in China. So one more opportunity, as I mentioned, we have this government scholarship programs we offered through the Chinese embassy, will be the one to open one more channel for those students who are really interested in study abroad for a longer period of time. So that I do see that the AASCI has the step-by-step guidelines for the students who are really interested in learning Chinese language and culture, and try to gain more experiences, spend more time in China. We do offer several programs with this financial opportunity for the students. So I appreciate that Yongling mentioned about a couple of things, and I myself experienced a lot of challenges at the beginning, especially the application for students to do. This is really it's the toughest job for the faculty, because you really have to hand in hand with the students, try to help them to fill out the form. Otherwise, they're going to stop in the middle of the way. And also, of course, the form is sometimes confusing. And this is also our job at AASCU to communicate with the Chinese embassy and to update them constantly about our problems. And we want to using this opportunity to thank the Chinese embassy people who are really be working on the same team, communicating with China also, because the application form is the basis in China. So we're trying to help them to work to update all those forms and to solve the problems our students have during the application. So that's a good part, and I feel like from the university, from AASCU, and from the Chinese embassy and the Chinese Partner Association, we're working as a team to help our students, to provide them more resources to American students to help them to study in China.
Just curious, Mayumi here, do you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share with us? Or maybe you can let us know what institution you're from, and what kind of programs have you planned or are you thinking about?
Hi, thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity. I just put it on the chat section, but I wanted to thank you for a really informative presentation. And I didn't realize there are, so many opportunities for faculty members and students. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Mayumi Kota. I'm the Director of International Programs at California State University, Channel Islands. And we have not been very active in sending students to China. We have sent some students, but I think the demand has not been that big. But I think faculty-led program might be something that students might be interested in. We also have faculty members from originally from China that might, they might be interested in having this opportunity to take students to China too. And then also, as Ms. Brown stated, that it is really important to continue this student exchange. I know there's some difficulties, and current political climate is very difficult, but I don't think this is going to continue. And I think diplomacy is really the best way to understand each other. And I'm originally from Japan, and I know there's so many, countries that maybe, that with SNS and the social media, people kind of say things, just spare the moment, and then, they don't really think. But when we see each other, when we spend time each other, I think we can understand so much better. And I've had a wonderful experience hosting students from China. They're hardworking, they're just wonderful, and I love to contribute in any way I can to have this exchange. So I'd love to share this information to our faculty members. Thank you so much. Really, I really appreciate this opportunity. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not really presentable, so I'm not showing myself.
Thank you for being here, Mayumi. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate all you do, and AASCU is wonderful. You have a lot of services, and this was a great, very, very good surprise that I learned all this resources. So thank you so much.
I'm so glad, and I think you summed it up beautifully, that that the more that we work together, hopefully the easier time we'll have in figuring out how we can all be global citizens together. And thank you so much, CSU Channel Islands. is beautiful. So I know that Chinese students would be absolutely love to visit there, and I'm sure also the Channel Islands students would benefit greatly from going to China. So
Yes.
I will, oh, go on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I will let Sufei Li wrap us up, but thank you all so much for joining us for this very informative webinar.
Thank you, Kathy. And I think this is a great session, and we will share the recording with all the people registered. We know this is an International Education Week, and everybody, all the campuses, all the international organizations, associations are doing something, some event, and we love to engage more people to work together. So I want to again thank you for coming to this session, and we would like to communicate further with you all, and AASCU is here to provide all the services specifically for in the international education perspectives, and we're looking forward to meeting all of you again next year at the International Education Week. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.